The magic weight loss pill. If only it existed, right? It's 2025 and still nothing so far. But there are indeed substances that help optimize fat burning if you follow the right training and diet. Today I'm going to talk about Yohimbine, which is widely used in fitness. I'm going to talk about what it is, its mechanisms of action, how you can take it to optimize your results, and the side effects, because nothing in life comes for free. So let's get started.
Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Camila and I am from Brazil. I have a lot of videos in Portuguese and I have a lot of good contents based on my experience with clients and everything that I have been studying over time. And I am translating them using AI, of course, to this channel, so I will have a lot of contents. But of course, I will keep recording my own videos with my accent, my English. And if you enjoy them, please subscribe to my channel, share with your friends, and let's grow this community. I hope you enjoyed this video.
So have any of you ever used Yohimbine? If you have, did you get results? Didn't get any results? Did you feel anything? Didn't feel anything? Well, let's understand. Yohimbine is a compound extracted from a plant. It's extracted from the bark of a tree from Africa, which you don't need to know or remember, and its name includes Yohimbine. It's widely used by people in fitness to lose fat, but initially it was created to treat erectile dysfunction. So it does have a certain aphrodisiac effect. But Camilla? Hey, so is it going to increase my libido? Not necessarily. Life is multifactorial, and that's a topic for another video. But let's understand how this thing works in our body first. It acts on a receptor called alpha-2 adrenergic. You don't need to memorize that. Just keep in mind that it's located in areas where it's very hard to lose fat, like the lower belly, hips, and glutes. It's there, and when it's activated, it makes it harder to burn fat in those areas. And then I got carried away there. It blocks it, making it easier to burn fat. And Yohimbine also promotes an increase in norepinephrine. This helps mobilize fat much more effectively. But then you'll remember, norepinephrine, what does that remind you of? Adrenaline, sympathetic nervous system. Let me explain it to you again. I've talked about the sympathetic nervous system before. I'll talk about it once more, and I'll keep talking about it in several videos. In your autonomic system, you have your parasympathetic system and your sympathetic system. Ideally, you should spend more time in the parasympathetic state. This is called rest and digest, where your body repairs itself, takes care of your immune system, and so on. The sympathetic system is a ready for action mode. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're walking down the street and suddenly a criminal starts shooting from a distance. How would you react? Your adrenaline will spike, you'll feel your blood heat up, it's your moment to run, because if you don't, you could die. That's the sympathetic system at work. Now imagine if you stayed in the parasympathetic system at that moment, right? You'd get shot and that would be the end of your life. So the sympathetic system is like, boom, I woke up ready for action. But you have to remember that you can't stay ready for action all day long, because that will harm your health. You won't get any recovery. You won't have any of those things. So you need to realize that you should spend much more time in the parasympathetic state. However, stimulants will activate this sympathetic system. So that jittery feeling, that sense of rushing around, that's what gets activated. This isn't really a good thing, because your body doesn't want to keep running all the time. Your body is lazy. It wants to stay relaxed in the parasympathetic state. It doesn't want to be in fight or flight mode all the time. So that's the issue with stimulants. So Yohimbine will act on this part of the sympathetic system. All right? Now that I've told you all this, I'm going to mention two side effects. First, like I said before, it keeps you much more in the sympathetic system. So when you think of the sympathetic system, you think of agitation. Think about if you are a person who has anxiety, someone with psychiatric issues, for example, or if you have a dysfunction in your HPA axis, problems with your cortisol, or you're going through tough times in life, Yohimbine can affect you negatively. It's not a good idea for you to use it. There are also people who are very sensitive to Yohimbine. For example, when I use it, I don't feel very well, so I end up taking it together with L-theanine to help tone it down so I don't feel its effects as much. So it will have this effect of making you more agitated, right? An anxiolytic effect. So if you have any issues or are struggling with this kind of thing, it's not ideal for you to use it. If you have health problems, heart issues, I also wouldn't recommend it. These are things you need to discuss with your doctor, okay? So these are mostly the side effects, right? An activation of the sympathetic nervous system, which isn't ideal, as every stimulant will do. And if you have any other health problems, are taking certain medications, or have anxiety or any psychiatric issues, it will cause you problems, so don't use it. As for my suggestion on how to use it, right? Yohimbine has a short half-life, right? From 30 minutes to 2 hours. So it will leave your body quickly. So you'll be using it for a very short period. Keep that in mind. So ideally you should use it during your workout. You're not going to take Yohimbine and sit in your office, have your coffee, and expect to get great results. Because that's not going to happen. You have to optimize its use. So you should use it during your workout, 30 to 40 minutes before your workout. You take it and use it. And the dosage. People usually start with 5 milligrams. If you're going to buy that IOMax from the pharmacy, I think it has 6.5. I don't remember exactly. It's a little more, and some people use that too. People start with 5 milligrams, and if they tolerate it, they increase to 10 milligrams. You should preferably use it while fasting. Why? Because it's there to mobilize fat. If you eat something, you'll get an insulin spike, and insulin does the opposite. Insulin does the opposite of burning fat. So, since you want to optimize a substance that stays in your body for a very short time, you'll want to use it while fasting to get better results. Camila, I can't do it, I'll have to eat and so on. Alright, but keep in mind that the effect of the substance will be reduced, okay? Oh, I won't eat carbs, I'll just eat protein, just fat. Okay, that's better than eating carbs. However, if you're trying to maximize the effect of a substance, and it's a stimulant, right? Which isn't really a great thing for you to use, to do it while fasting, preferably during fasted cardio, you know that fasted cardio bodybuilders do. They do it at low intensity, zone 2, in the fat burning zone, which is the fat burning zone, and that's how you'll optimize the use of Yohimbine. Oh, but I want to use it during my weight training session. Alright, but you might not feel so good. For example, I can't use it during weight training because it makes my heart race too much and I don't feel well. So I end up using it only for cardio. Alright? Another thing you should keep in mind is that every time you activate, in most cases, a receptor, when you're always messing with that receptor, not necessarily activating it, but interacting with it, you're always messing with it. And at some point, it becomes desensitized. So you'll see that there are studies on Yohimbine showing that people used it and had great results at first, but then stopped seeing results. Why did that happen? Because the receptor lost its sensitivity. Just like with clenbuterol, right? With clenbuterol, you start using it and you have to keep increasing the dose to get results. And then often they combine it with cetirizine so you can maximize the results. Because that way you can address this receptor desensitization. Now here's a clever trick, something from my husband, Andrea Zucker, which I haven't tried myself, is to use clonidine. Use clonidine together with Yohimbine. Yohimbine in the morning, clonidine at night. Why? Because Yohimbine acts as an antagonist of that receptor I mentioned to you, the alpha-2 adrenergic receptor. And clonidine is an agonist. So while one blocks, the other opens, right? Let's put it that way, in simple terms. So in this way, you reduce this desensitization a bit and prolong the effect. However, keep in mind, clonidine is also a medication that this video here is just for informational purposes, and you should consult a doctor for this kind of thing, okay? Another thing that can also be done, as is done with clenbuterol, right? You can use it in cycles. You use it for a few weeks, then take a week off, and that way you can maximize the results. So, you see that sometimes there are people who use Yohimbine and say they didn't get any results. Well, you can see there are several things, several variables that will help. Unfortunately, it's not a weight loss pill. You really have to train, you have to diet, you have to do everything right in order to maximize your results. Guys, stimulants are not the best thing to use. It's not something I use a lot. I practically never use stimulants, only rarely. I also don't usually prescribe stimulants in my consultations because it's something that really affects that sympathetic nervous system part I mentioned to you. I get a lot of clients who already have affected adrenal glands, who have a lot of problems in their lives, who are stressed, who have things to do, because they're not just athletes who only have that to focus on. So sometimes it can be harmful. So I really evaluate a lot the person's profile to see if they can use these substances. So keep in mind that you should use substances, any protocol, that kind of thing, with professional help. If this video was helpful to you, subscribe to the channel, share it, comment here if you've had any experience with Yohimbine, and let's grow this community. A kiss, everyone.